even a non-Christian should be able to accept the historical fact that Jesus Christ is the greatest, most influential, most important figure of all of human history, not just the greatest spiritual guru, the greatest human figure that has ever existed is Jesus. No one has made a bigger impact. This is not disputed. This is not debatable. This is just a straight up fact. Now, that should raise the question, well, why don't I want to get to know him, right? If I'm committed to spiritual truth, but I'm completely ignoring the greatest spiritual figure of all time, that's kind of strange, right? And I started to realize this about myself. It's like, damn, Jesus really is the GOAT, isn't he? He really is the guy. Who's been bigger than Jesus? Nobody. And I don't know anything about him for 11 years. As I explore spiritual truth, I've ignored learning about the greatest spiritual figure who ever walked the earth, who's changed the mind, who has billions of followers around the world, whose impact has endured for thousands of years. And I don't know anything about the guy. That's kind of strange, right? So that got me interested in, okay, well, who is this guy and why have I been ignoring him? So that was the first thing. The second thing is I was approaching it before I really started to like understand the message in my paradigm, which was, okay, Jesus, I might not be interested in Christianity or the religion, but Jesus was a master, right? He was a man, a human man who attained the highest spiritual heights and had full awakening to the full levels of his potential, because that's what we're told. But even if you're in that paradigm and you approach Jesus, you can still acknowledge, as you look into what he actually did and what his miracles were, that he must have been the greatest master that ever existed then. Because only Jesus does the level of miracle that Jesus performs. He walks on water. He controls the sea. He tells the storm to stop storming with the word of his mouth. He's healing people, not just like, oh, I got a hug from Amma and it was great. But like, no, the blind can see, the leprosy is cast out, demons are cast out, the crippled can walk. And he's just doing it with the word of his mouth, thousands of people a day. And he seems, when you read his story, non-egotistical. He actually is pouring himself out for the people, and the people are coming. How many gurus have a weird narcissistic, they're sleeping with everybody, right? Like most of these guys and girls, they're all weird, they're all self-serving, they're all narcissists. I don't know if you figured that out yet. Christ wasn't like that. He actually just poured himself out for the masses. And then he starts raising the dead. He's bringing dead bodies, people who've been rotting in the tomb for 3-4 days, back to life. And then finally, of course, he brings himself back to life to show you that he has control over even death itself. Name a spiritual teacher who is rotting in the grave for 3 days and then brings themselves back to life. Love him or hate him, Jesus is the GOAT.